Hi, guys. Happy Tuesday. It's Two for Tuesday. So here we are back again. I think I went live everywhere I was supposed to. I'm seeing stuff. I don't know. You didn't go here. You didn't go there. Hopefully, I think we're on everywhere, if I'm not mistaken. So welcome to Real Talk with Karen Stacy and my guest, Angelo. And is it Micieli? Am I saying it correctly?
It's actually pronounced Micieli.
Micieli.
So the H is silent. It's actually written as Micieli, but pronounced Micieli because the CI actually represents the sound of a CH. So it's Micieli.
Okay, you know what? My old doctor's name was Micieli. So It looked like it to me, but then when I looked at it again, I was like, I think the spelling is different, and I'm pretty good at screwing up the way I say things most times. So I wasn't sure if I was screwing that up. So I'm going to call you like Angelo M, so I don't keep I'm just going to go with Angelo because I don't do that. I don't want to call you the wrong name. But thank you so much for coming on today. Are you in New York?
No, I'm actually in Toronto, Canada.
You're in Canada. Okay, so
Yes.
then I can't complain about the snow then.
No, you know what? People have a real wrong perception of what Canada really is like. Over here, we have maybe snow for 2 months out of the year. We've only had 2 snowfalls since winter took over, and they've only lasted for 1 day. And right now, there's no snow out. Just a little bit of snow on the ground, and it's like -3, -4 out, so it's a little bit chilly. But
Stop it, you.
we do get a lot of snow in March.
Stop it, you.
That's when we usually get our snow.
Okay.
But a lot of people think, oh my God, he's in Canada, he lives in an igloo,
Yeah.
It's not like that.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
Well,
our summers get really hot.
That's not the way I heard it described, because when my parents lived in Canada, my father, I think, did like graduate school there or something. And he talked about how it was freezing. My mother used to talk about how the minute she walked out the door, she would fly up in the air and slide on the ice. And she just fell every single day. So I've heard those stories, but as I'm sure you know, we got pummeled yesterday and today with snow here in New York. And we're not like, us New Yorkers complain about everything, right? So it just kind of stinks that we got stuck, and we really are stuck. And I have to say that we haven't had snow like this in a really long time, because we did some shoveling, and you can look outside and you wouldn't know that shoveling was done. Like the car covered, everything covered. It was like, holy crap, it's really crazy. So I hope everybody that is in New York is safe tonight. It got icy out there too. So you shouldn't be out driving. You should be home watching Real Talk right now. Don't go driving. And for those of you that are in Florida and every place else and you're nice and warm, no.
Well, you know what? It's not even just New York. I was watching the news earlier today. New Jersey got hit really hard. It's crazy to see it, especially being a Canadian and seeing how much snow you guys are getting and what we have over here. It's almost like day and night. But you are right. When it does get cold here, it gets very, very cold here. And when we do get dumped on snow, it's really, really bad. The worst I can remember here in Toronto was almost 7.5 feet. Some of the snowbanks were almost 8 feet tall. And I remember I was living in Mississauga at the time, and they had a tractor come through and literally just remove 1 lane of snow where you could actually get into our street, and you had to either wait for someone to come one way or another, and into where the driveways are, you'd have to go into someone's driveway to let someone through, because there was no 2-way street anymore. It was the craziest thing. Schools were shut down for almost a week.
Oh my God, the kids must have been like in their glory.
Yeah, so we were just snowmobiling and just going crazy. Snowball fights, snowman. It was really cool. It was really cool.
Have you always lived in Canada?
Yeah. I was born downtown Toronto, and I've kind of shuffled around within Mississauga, Brampton, Erin Mills, and now I'm living in North York with my husband. We've been here at this location now for probably about 10 years. It's a great little location. It's right off the highway. It's we got a hospital directly right across the street from us, close to my brother, close to my mother. My other siblings are one's in Alliston, the other one lives in Bolton. So they're about half an hour, 45-minute drive away. I'm about an hour's out from with light traffic. I'm about an hour and a half out from the U.S. border for Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
Where Niagara Falls is.
Stop it. Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty central. I'm pretty central to a lot of different places. I'm an hour and a half from Buffalo and 45 minutes away from Barrie.
Okay. Well, can I ask you a question since we're talking about, location and obviously you're in Canada? What's the COVID situation like there?
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. When COVID first came out in March, everything was completely locked down.
Okay.
And we went through stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and actually got to stage 4, where it was pretty normal. Like the numbers were down. We were getting, in our region alone, just where we were getting numbers like 300 cases a day, 400 cases a day. And then what I think happened is there was some pressure from, people about their children having to go back to school and them having to work. And what happened is they opened the schools again, and it all went to shit. It really, really did. And 9 months later, from when it started, almost a year from where it started, we are completely back where we are in complete lockdown. The only things that are available to anybody here at this point is grocery stores, post office, pharmacies, and banks. Drive-in food and stuff like that, but you can't. There's nothing essential is open. No mom and pop stores. There's actually a conversation right now about whether or not they're going to reverse it. I think that these smaller mom and pop stores should be open because you can crowd control with these little places where, you go up on Facebook, and I just in Brampton the other day, there was like 1,000 people at Costco. And that can't be healthy.
Right. But that's okay. But meanwhile, you can't do anything else. I mean, unfortunately, because this is, so far out of a norm, there's no like rhyme or reason for anything. You know what I mean? So it's really difficult to navigate. So I don't think anybody knows what the hell they're doing. It's like it's a guessing game, basically.
Yeah.
But I was just curious what it was like, by you, because so I have people that follow my morning show that are in Ireland, and he should be on soon too. And then I have another a lady that's in Germany. I have another lady that watches that's from the UK. And they're all in lockdown as well. Yeah. So we're not really in lockdown, but I mean, we're, for New Yorkers, we're fucking locked down. You know what I'm saying?
What about schools? What about the school situation? Because the schools are completely shut down. They're being taught at home at this point online.
So we had that last year through June. And this year, a lot of the schools did open up. You had some schools had the option. For instance, my son, we had the option of remote or going to school. And the interesting thing is, even there were like 3 kids that were in his school that went to school, because all the younger kids were more so in school. He's in the 7th grade, so his class is not as heavily populated, and they can work from home. So even the kids that went to school are on Zoom. So they're all just Zooming. So I said, well, what the hell am I gonna risk it and send him to school so he can Zoom while he's Zooming? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. So I do believe a lot of schools are in fact on. It really depends on the districts. And some people, depending, were able to, opt for either or. But you want to hear something funny? We had, yesterday it snowed, today it snowed. My son does school online, virtual. What do you think? He had off yesterday and today for a snow day. What happened? You couldn't make it to the computer? I'm like, and then he
Wow.
got the balls today to go, you know, Ma, if it keeps snowing like this, I'm not going to have school again tomorrow. I go, dude, you don't think like, 2 days of not going to school isn't enough? You need more? I mean, hello. So it was really, it was kind of funny, but I guess, it's cool that they get the snow day because,
Yeah.
I mean, as a kid, you want the snow days. Like you just said, you guys were sleigh riding, you were doing all this stuff, when you guys were snowed in. That's part of, the joy of snow, right? That's probably the only thing. Otherwise,
I think what bothers me the most is just the social structure. I don't know. I've been coaching hockey for a long time.
okay.
I've been coaching minor hockey for close to about 10 years, 12 years.
Okay.
With an organization called Westmall Lightning. And the kids that I coach are between the ages of 12 and 14.
Okay.
And I'm used to seeing them twice a week, 3 times a week, 2 practices a week, 1 game a week. And from my conversations with the parents, it's really difficult with on these children because they feel like they don't have any normalcy in their life at this point. They can't see their friends. Zooming is not like being around your friends. Sports is just nothing is being played. All the arenas are being closed down. All of the parks are being closed down. Baseball diamonds are being closed down. So, I was watching a little bit of the news earlier before we jumped on, and, they're saying that anxiety and depression and, compulsion for eating is on the rise right now. And I know as a 50-year-old man, I'm having a hard time myself dealing with this. And, you have to think about these 12 and, 13-year-old kids who, want to feel like a kid. And they can't do what they're doing. And it's very frustrating. Now, I don't have any children, but, I've spoken to the parents on my team, and they're saying that some of the kids are going through these as well. Anxiety, depression, feeling like they're just trapped within, their confinements. And it's really not cool for a 12-year-old to have to go through something like this. But, I don't see an end anytime soon. I just don't.
Look we got somebody trying to sneak on the camera. We got somebody over here trying to sneak on the camera.
He or she is adorable.
Look, there it is. She's trying. Oh, now she's talking. You got competition, Angelo. Mm-hmm. I agree with you. But as a mom, this is not your time to talk. Mommy's talking now. I agree with you, but what I do. Oh, that's all. Now she's pissed off. She wants to play. This is playtime. Get down.
Yeah, she wants attention.
The funny thing is that the kids are all really used to the FaceTime, or they have those the apps like Discord or something like that. Please stop. And we're not playing now. And so they're so used to that. Like my son literally is on that thing morning, noon, and night, whether or not there was a pandemic or there wasn't a pandemic. So in essence, give me a toy. In essence, I think that they kind of like got used to that. Although, yes, they can't do the physical. If this happened to us when we were growing up, we'd be screwed.
Oh, yeah.
We'd have no interaction whatsoever. Now people are interacting. Of course, it's not the same, but everybody has to get used to certain things. And then again, some people don't have a great, home dynamic. Some, people need to get out of the home because of what's going on in the home. So yes, I mean, I've talked about this on Coffee Talk a million times with the pandemic. People are over, eating, over drinking, and depression, anxiety. Every day we would hear on the news how many people died of COVID, but we never heard about how many people committed suicide. We never talked about how many people were ODing. We never talked about how many people have an alcohol addiction now. They don't talk about those things because all they keep doing is talking about COVID, which I understand is a very, it's detrimental, but so is mental health.
Yeah, I think the biggest one for me would probably be domestic abuse. Like I would be petrified if I was in a relationship, in an abusive relationship.
Where do you go?
And I was locked in a house with someone that's either verbally or physically abusive, right? So that's something that they have to look at also too. I don't know what you guys are getting like for I know that there's a lot of talk about stimulus and stuff like that. Do you feel that, living in the US, that, you guys are getting your fair shake of government
Are you
giving you?
serious?
Because there seems to be a battle about that constantly. I know that me and my husband, we got, I think, $600 the first 3 months, and then we haven't received anything since.
Yeah. Well, so I think that's what happened here. We got, was it the 600, 1,200, something like that the first time. Second time just now, it was, I think, 600. So I know Canada isn't cheap either. So $600 covers my cable and my Con Ed. That's right. There's no food. There's no mortgage, there's no heat, there's no, it's crazy. So, are we getting help? I guess something's better than nothing, but I don't know what that's supposed to do. Food prices have all gone through the roof. Anything you want to buy now is more expensive than it ever has been before. I'm a very good shopper, so I know prices. Could you stop, please? I know prices. So, everything is expensive, and, so yeah, it's hard times for a lot of people. People are struggling. A lot of people are out of work. Prices are going up, restaurants, everything, all the prices of everything is going up because they're not doing the volume. So, if you can only be at 25 or 50% capacity, then, you got to charge. You can't, you can't do, that. Yes. And gas is going up too, but that has nothing to do with the pandemic. So yeah, it's kind of crazy, but, I know we went from we went from A to Z here, and we've been talking for, I don't know, 20 minutes, and we haven't even said hello to everybody. We haven't even said who the hell you are. And we just started talking about where we live and stuff. So I guess we're really going to have a hard time having a conversation on the air tonight, right?
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in to Real Talk with Karen Stacy. We are live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. We are live on Facebook, on the groups, on the pages. We are live on Periscope. We are live on YouTube, and we are live on Twitch. So do me a favor, share the video, tag your friends. Feel free to comment. We are, hopefully we can see your comments when I'm talking to a guest. Makes it a little trickier. I do hear feedback right now, Angelo. I'm not sure if that's on your end.
Yes, it probably is on my end. I have this little small fan I've been having some difficulties with, and I'm praying to God that my screen doesn't go black, because I've got this small little box that connects from my computer to my screen. And for some reason or other, last week the screen would just go black. Awesome. So I called Best Buy, and I asked them, whether or not they had it in stock. They said that they were going to order it in for me. It still hasn't come in yet. So what he suggested is he says, just blow a fan on the box itself, because once it starts to get really hot, that's when the screen will start to shut off. So I did my show on Sunday with the Freestyle Spotlight Countdown, and I put the fan on it, and the screen didn't disappear. So fingers crossed that that doesn't happen. But
never
if it's too much noise, I can turn it off. But
never
I'd rather leave it on if that's okay.
A good blow. Listen, if it works,
it seems to be working at this point right now. So we'll just go with it and see what happens. But I can see some of the comments in there, and I want to say hi to Bob Myers. He's in there. He just gave me an LOL. There's some people in there that I'm not familiar with, so just want to say thank you for joining us. And I believe your boy from Ireland is in there.
Yes, I saw Georgie. Yes,
Georgie's in there as well too. So I want to give a big shout out.
We have all of our regulars in here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thankfully, Lisa and Carmela are on there, and they're showing love to everybody as well. So everybody knows how much we love them. So Angelo, here we go. Here's where I put you on the spot. You ready?
Sure. Yep.
Okay. So I always ask everybody when they come on the show a really basic question. Who are you?
Okay, so I'm 51 years old. I'm Italian, born Catholic, openly gay. I'm the CEO of CFMAM Productions and the CEO of CFMAM Radio. I'm a volunteer with youth hockey, and I also volunteer with the LGBTQ community.
Okay.
And I have a group of 6 DJs that represent CFMAM. And I'm also the co-host of the Freestyle Spotlight Countdown at Extreme Mix Radio with DJ Alex Sanchez. So I've got quite a busy schedule when it
Gee.
comes to being online and doing what I do. But besides that, I'm just really just laid back, easygoing type of guy. Love to watch movies. Nothing better than just being on the couch, relaxing and watching movies with my husband. I've been with my husband for 21 years. We got married in 2015, and just trying to get through the rest of this COVID thing. I'm not working at this point right now, and trying to figure out how my next step is.
Yeah.
My husband is going through some health issues, and
Sorry.
yeah, so we're kind of working through that at the same time too. But yeah, that's basically about what it is with me. I know what I want to do, and hopefully it'll get there at some point. I'm looking for a career in either broadcasting or to try to get onto FM radio. Toronto's very, very difficult over here. I've got a lot of connections in Toronto, Canada, but it seems like a lot of the more serious offers are probably going to be coming from the US. So living in Canada, it's a little bit difficult. But and even with the music scene itself too, because there really isn't much going on here with what I do in music in Canada. With the show, the Freestyle Spotlight Countdown, we do the top 15 tracks of freestyle music every single week. Freestyle doesn't exist in Canada. It's not being played on the radio in Canada.
Wow.
The general, image of what freestyle is over here, they're pretty much still stuck in the early 80s of the days of Stevie B and that type of stuff. So they're not really at the forefront of what new school freestyle is today. So, I would say for me, even having the CFMEM production page, in 2014, I was in a car accident and I had a lot of time on my hands. And I've realized that there wasn't a lot of representation for Canadian freestyle on Facebook. So I opened a CFMAM page or a CFM page, a Canadian Freestyle Music page. Okay. And it kind of just blossomed over a short period of time where a lot of my friends from the US that were sending me friends requests were asking if they can post on the page. So we added the AM to make it and more to represent, the American people that were coming in. And it's been 5 years. We just finished having our 5th year anniversary. And I'm proud to say that I don't think there's anybody that is in freestyle, either that's a fan or an artist or a producer or a DJ or a remixer or an engineer that doesn't know what CFMAM means. And that's a huge accomplishment for me. So we decided that the next step for us would be to have our own radio station. So we do have an online radio station at cfmamradio.com. Our platform is through NYC 54 FM with Louis Neves.
Yes.
Fantastic gentleman. And I'm in a group with 5 other radio stations that we work in partnerships with.
Okay.
So it's a lot of fun. It keeps me busy. It keeps me structured online.
Are you speaking of DISA?
Sorry?
Are you speaking of DISA, the Digital International Streaming Alliance?
You know what? That's been brought up, but no. Underneath the NYCF FM 54 label, they've got WVLMO. We've got like 4 or 5 different radio stations.
Louis, and that's part of DISA. That's the Digital International. That's Miami Mike Radio is part of that as well.
Yes, so I believe that there's Classic 405 is also involved in that as well. Extreme Mix Radio. So there are a lot of different radio stations that are connected through Lewis's platform. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool the way that I was actually work together as a group, because you know what, I can honestly say this. I'm comfortable enough to say that we really did start the whole support equals support. That was something that came from CFMAM. When we first opened CFMAM, we wanted to work with other people and show unity within the community. So what we did was we created this whole support equals support, where you're going to support me by doing something for me. I'm going to support you to do something for you. And, 5 years down the road, CFMAM is being supported by 10 different radio stations that support our mixes and what our DJs do. We have multiple platforms. We have our own radio station now. So, something that started off as just a thought ended up turning into something that's actually, really, really blossomed over 5 years. And, we've got, and even for being in Canada, I think it's an accomplishment. We've got close to about 2.6 thousand members on our CFMAM page. Almost 2,000 members on our CFMAM fan page. And the radio station just kicked off at the beginning around September, October of last year. So we're going to be going into year 2, and we're going to be looking at making a couple of changes to get a little bit more interaction with some of the fans. But there's a lot of love out there for people that want to support you, and that's how I work. I work on the support equals support. If someone's going to support me, I'm going to support them. And I think that's the one thing that really needs to be pinpointed throughout this conversation, is that there's so much people out there that claim they support, but they really don't. They really, really don't. There's people that are in little small circles. Like your Facebook circle and my Facebook circle are completely different circles, but somehow we connect through one person or a second person or third person. So there's your world, there's my world, and then there's the world of those that just want to sit on the fence and be nice and be kind. And, I'll keep you as a friend, but I'm not going to talk with you or send you an inbox. You know what I mean? God forbid that, someone's going to see me that I put a like on your post, and, then I'll have to deal with the bullshit and the nonsense after. Right. So, it's kind of interesting. Like I've said this to a lot of close people that I have on Facebook. They say to me, for someone that's well known in the freestyle community, how is it that you have only 399 friends? And I said, it's not about the 399 friends. Ask me how many of them I actually follow. I keep my circle very, very small, because I feel that a small circle keeps things positive. It really, really does. And those people that I follow are people that I'm interacting with on a daily basis. And I'll give some people some advice. This is the best way to find out whether or not that person that has reached out to you really wants to be your friend, is that when they send you a friend's request, I always respond in the message box and saying, thank you so much for reaching out. Let's keep in touch. And then every month I go in and I check that message box. And if there isn't any conversation there, is it really a friendship, or is it just, people looking to make friends, just to have them on their page?
Well,
it's a fine line there.
Well, I think, you're that is a little harsh, in my opinion. You're putting too much validity into that in per se, like in this industry. I agree with you 70 gabillion%. Unfortunately, instead of everybody supporting one another, they, most people are, like you said, there are circles, there's cliques, and it's like, you hang with that person. Oh, okay. No, I can't, and it becomes a very tricky situation. And I was actually talking about that. I don't remember whether it was today or yesterday, about, I think it was today, where it's like, are you who you hang with, because you get grouped into, these things where, let's say you're doing my show tonight, and, I'm human, I'm not an animal, but let's say that, I was a bit abrupt, or which I am, but, like your listeners are listening and they go, Angelo, that girl is nuts. Like first of all, those glasses, what was up with that? She curses a lot. Like, what's up with that? Where you, like now you're going to be like, well, you know what I mean? So that's why, like, I think that it's nice when everybody is kind of on the level. You've watched my show before. You've been part of our shows. You know what I'm about. And I don't like any of that bullshit.
Yes.
You like what you like. and you don't like what you don't like. And I don't care whose name it is. There are people that are very big in the freestyle industry, and I don't care for the way they treat other people. It doesn't, so I personally don't feel the need to associate with them. Do I tell other people not to? Absolutely not. There are a lot of DJs out there that I think are phenomenal DJs, and I love the music, but I don't like them as a human. I think that they're egotistical. I think that, their heads are bigger than their talent. I'll still listen to them.
Yes.
Because they're good DJs, but I'm not running to support them, because, like a lot of people forget where they come from. So you gotta think about, like you just said, well, you only have 395 friends and you're very selective, which I completely understand and respect. But there's quantity and then there's quality.
Exactly.
So, in this business, unfortunately, you always got to watch, because your name is in someone else's mouth, and I'm never sure why, because, like if everybody just kind of stays in their lane, there's no reason why. I mean, you do a talk show, I do a talk show. Why can't we do a talk show together? I mean, this is what it's all about. Like you said, support. And I feel like that has dwindled. Just what you were speaking about with the DISA. I was on WML. I always screw that up. WMLO, right? That's how you say it?
You missed the V. WVMLO.
That's why I told Louis, I said, I can't be on that station because I can never get that out right. So just put me on the 54 FM, because that I could say. Did I screw that one up too?
No.
Okay. So I was doing that, and unfortunately my internet was so horrible that I kept getting booted off of there. So now that my internet is fixed, I got to talk to Louis to be back on again. But what an amazing idea, right? To have all of these radio stations, instead of competing with one another, embracing it. And, and a lot of people will say, well, you know what? There's 6 radio stations. That means anybody, like if this DJ is on my radio station at this time, then there's a DJ on this radio station at this time. So now they're in competition with one another. They're really not. But in essence, it isn't, because if you turn the TV on, there's something on channel 2, there's something on channel 4, there's something on channel 5. And you know what? I don't like the show that's on channel 2, so I'm going to watch the show on channel 4. So, maybe the DJ that's on channel 2 is playing, hip hop, which I can't listen to. So I'm going to go to, channel 4 and listen to freestyle on there, or I'm going to go to my rock station or whatever it is. So I think that what I try to spread all the time on the show is that unity. Because everybody wants to separate and divide one another. And, and the world is like this right now, right? We got, the lefts are on this side, the rights are on this side. Everybody is so divided. And even on social media and in freestyle and in music, everybody is so divided. Why? We all want to hear good music.
Well, I'll tell you this. The way that I look at it is this. There is one circle of unity, and that's among producers. I can't even think about the last time that I was on social media on Facebook and saw a post from one producer that's bashing another producer. They support each other very, very well.
That's wonderful.
They really, really do. Producers, they do support each other very, very well. When it comes to DJs, there's so many DJs out there that, they get respected by those who are in their circle. Right. And then there's other DJs that get shitted on constantly, because they're either on a bigger scale or they're doing things that are completely different. There's jealousy involved. There's a lot of different parameters that come involved there. And I've seen, DJs make comments about, other DJs are a train wreck, blah, 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 this and that. So there is really not a lot of unity there. And then when it comes to the artist, it just seems like in freestyle, as soon as one artist has the smallest light put on them, someone's there to kind of take them down a little bit. And it's not all of them, and I'm not going to name drop people or anything like that, because
No, we don't
it's a competitive business. You know what I mean? You need to put yourself out there, right? But
right.
when it comes to, a lot of what's going on with freestyle, I see the unity with the producers. I see a little bit of unity with the DJs. And then, of course, with artists, there's clicks. And then when it comes to the fans, that's where for me, a lot of the drama that comes in from freestyle really does come from, people that really don't know the true stories of what they're hearing in the background of what's being put to the forefront on Facebook. And, I always say to somebody, one person can say something, another person can say something. It's all hearsay until you actually talk to that specific person. Because everybody says there's two sides to a story, but I'll tell you, there's three. You can put the coin on one side for heads. You can put the coin on one side for tails. But if you take that coin and you put it right side up, there's that little small bridge. That's the width of the coin. That's where the truth is. And if you really want to know where the truth is, you call that person, you speak to that person, and they'll let you know exactly what's going on. And that's what the problem is. There's too many people that are saying, oh, I heard this and I heard that, and this person is doing this and that's going on there, and support this guy because, he's there, and, this and that. And to me, it doesn't work. If I hear something, or if I want something clarified for me, I know everybody and anybody in freestyle. Like, there's specific people that I feel comfortable with, that I don't feel comfortable with, but I have a lot of connections in freestyle. And if you go to my page, those 399 people that are my friends on my page are probably those within the business, because I work with them. I work with CFMAM. I need DJs. I've got DJs that work with these artists. I'm on the show. I do interviews. I respect them all. Like, I have respect for every single one of them for what they do. They have talent and everything like that. It's the people that they work with who sometimes really just put a dark stain on a lot of what's going on, because I'll speak to them individually and they'll say, yeah, that's not true, or that person shouldn't be saying that. So there is a lot of gossip going on, and it's never going to stop. It won't. Well, everybody wants it to change. I don't think it can.
Well, look, drama is always going to be there. People are always going to gossip. People are always going to talk about each other. The thing that I don't like is when you just said, well, you call the person so you can find out what really went on. There are a lot of people that don't tell you what really went on. They tell you what they want you to think went on. And the funny thing is that you really don't know. I always say you don't know till you know. So you really don't know, because me personally, I don't lie. So if you ask me a question, I'm going to answer it honestly, and I'm going to tell you the truth. Sure. Most people, well, let me not say most. There are a lot of people that maybe they don't give you all of the facts. Maybe they arrange it so it sounds different. Like I was saying earlier today, sometimes people will take a text message that you send them and they'll take a bit of it. So like where I would say something joking around, like, Carmela teases me and calls me like, Martha Stewart. And I'm like, you bitch, and we'll go back and forth with each other. But now somebody go and text her, see, Karen called you a bitch, like, that kind of stuff where, like, first of all, how old are we? 3? Like, mind your fucking business, number one. Number 2, why are you causing trouble? So that's what I find happens more. And that's the reason why, to be honest with you, anybody that knows me on a personal level, I don't want to deal with none of this fucking bullshit. I really don't. I don't want to hear it. I do have a lot of people on social media because of my show. I do not personally know most of them. They have become fans of my show, and they have become a part of my heart. They are a part of our family. Coffee Talk we do every morning, and it is a family. That's what we do. Real Talk is a little bit different. This was more kind of like an adult show that kind of, was shock value, if you will. But Coffee Talk, just like what you were discussing earlier, your home, even how you started with your station, you were in the accident or whatever, you weren't well, you stayed home, you started to develop something and look at from a horrible tragedy what you created. And so that was kind of what I did, with Coffee Talk as well. We're all sitting home. Everybody's going, what is going on here? Like, everybody was like frightened. And I think we're still frightened, but now we're just so done that you're less scared and more aggravated.
Yeah.
But, so I mean, as far as, social media has a lot of pros in that respect, because you can connect with people you wouldn't connect with. Look, we got Georgie in Ireland right now watching us. I know it's in Germany. I think it's like 2:00 in the morning. So I don't think Simi's watching, but we have people from all over the world that are watching us. So it's a blessing to have the social media and to have the availability that people can tune in for live shows. And of course on your radio where it's the internet. So, they can tune in from anywhere around the world as well. So, it's huge, but it is very tricky when you're in an industry where, like you said, there's those circles, and everyone somehow or another, there's like a thing. I had a DJ, that called me and they go, "Oh, my people are on your show." I'm like, "Your people? How are they your people? They're our people. Like, we all share an audience. They're not mine and they're not yours,
Yeah.
So I think that that's the thing too, is that, people are so out for blood, so to speak, and, like you said, they'll look at, oh, how many people? Oh, how many views? Oh, they only have 200 people. Oh, no, they're not it. Oh, how many people? They don't have that. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
I got a message today. Was it today or yesterday? And somebody, and I don't ever mention names, and they said, thank you. The show was great. I go, I'm sorry, which show are you talking about? So she said, you were talking about Lost on Monday. Today's Tuesday. It was yesterday. I don't even remember. I was a little like, I was having a moment, right? And she messaged me and she said to me, thank you so much for having the courage to speak about it. It really helped me to listen, and I really love your show and appreciate that. So I don't care if only that one person watched that show that day. I made a difference.
Yeah.
So that's why you get all these people, they click on, they click off. What difference does it make? Those numbers don't mean shit. My people that, again, the people that do tune into my show are on for the entire show. That is what you want. I don't want somebody jumping in for 5 minutes and going, what's she talking about? Who's that? Who's that person? Blah-da-da-da. And then boom, they're out.
Yeah. Yeah. Going back to what I was saying about just having less than 400 people on my page, for me it's just there's a lot of noise out there, and I just find that the bigger you have, the more people you have. I could easily at this point right now, I could say to you, Karen, let's talk in about 3 weeks from now, and I'll be up to 2,000 friends.
Sure.
On Facebook. And it's just a lot of noise, and what I look at there is that I know who I need to deal with within the business, and I know who are the people that watch my show and will have conversations with me and will inbox me and will support me, and that's basically the way that I roll. And I really do look at who I want to follow and who I don't want to follow, simply for the fact that there is a lot of noise and there is a lot of competition out there too. So you're going to hear something, you're going to see a comment that's being made, you know what I mean? So for me, I just find that Facebook is so much more manageable when I manage it myself and not let it get too carried away.
Yeah,
well, you could easily get into that situation where I'm so fucking done with Facebook. Yep. I don't want to be on Facebook no more. And there's people out there, like, I've met so many incredible people.
Yep.
That I know that probably in my lifetime I will never have a face-to-face with. Yep. And it bothers me. It bothers me because there's some really, really good people out there, like the people that are in the chat room right now.
Yep.
That are here, that are supporting me, that are supporting you, and, I just want to say thank you for everybody that's there. There's so many people,
yep.
And those are the people that, that are watching what you're doing. A lot of people talk about tagging. I don't know if you like tagging or you don't like tagging, but there's a lot of people out there, and I've even seen it too. They'll make posts, please stop tagging me on this.
Yes.
Please stop tagging me on that. You really want to know who's following you? Don't tag anybody. If they're really interested in what you're doing, they'll put a like or they'll make a comment on something that you're posting. And those are the people that that are there that want to support you,
Yes.
And I make it a point to make sure that I always represent those that support me. and I'll go into the show, and I'll go back to what you said, because, I also agree and disagree with you as well about people just popping in and saying, hi, what's going on, blah, 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 and then leaving again. I can be on social media on any given night, and I'll get like 6 or 7 invites to a lot of different shows.
Oh, absolutely.
And I, you know what, the fact that someone's taken the time to invite me, I will then go in and say, hey, thank you so much for the invite. Yep. Say hello to those that want to say hi. Say thank you to those that, you know, want to say good things and stuff like that, and then move on to something else, you know?
Well, I didn't mean it that way. I mean, and I do try to do that, because sometimes a lot of people go on really late and I can't say, I'm not up or whatever. So yes, I will jump on to show support. But what I meant was that people are looking at numbers and they're not, it was a totally different comparison. What I meant was that people are looking at numbers like, oh, look how many views that person got. When what I'm saying is that I'd rather have, we were talking about quality over quantity. I'd rather have 20 people solid, 30 people solid during my show, for the entire show, if they're able to do it. But I certainly always appreciate if somebody jumps on and says hello. You can't always stay on for 2 hours or an hour, whatever it is, because life gets in the way, so I totally get that. But I was using a different, I was just meaning in terms of the numbers game. That was what I meant by the people jumping on and off, not like showing respect and popping in.
But you know yourself though, Karen, that you know that every day you go on at 11 a.m., every day you go on at 8 a.m., and you have a general idea of who's going to be there and who's going to listen. And then you've got those other people that come in, and that's how it works with me on my show. I know when the Freestyle Spotlight Countdown starts at 5 o'clock on Sunday, I've got a list beside me of names that are already written that I know that are going to be there to support me. And then it all depends on, what artist is in the countdown. And, you get a couple of different artists that will come in, and, people that support their circle that will come in and stuff like that. And it's nice to see that they're getting support and they're trying to support you at the same time. But I can tell you, I know exactly who's going to be in my show and who's going to show up based on the fact that their song is there or their song isn't there. And it's not to say that they're being disrespectful, because you're as busy as I am. I know you are. And if you can't be in somewhere for a long period of time, you'll still make, you'll still want to go in there and support and then have to leave at some point, right? So
I want to interrupt you. I want to interrupt you because I want you to tell us about your show.
Okay, so you're talking the Freestyle Spotlight Countdown?
We'll start there. I know you have 50 million shows, so we'll start someplace.
First of all, it's not 50 million, but that would be too taxing on me.
I'll exaggerate a little bit. What can I tell you?
So the Freestyle Spotlight Countdown, I started as a co-host about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I'm with DJ Lex. The show is on TFR, the Freestyle Radio platform. Fantastic. Love DJ Racer. Probably one of the most.
I saw him on. He's on, and he likes my accent.
Yes.
So now he's my favorite. No, I'm only
kidding. Yes, he's on there, and there's a couple of from TFR that are on there too. I want to say hi to, again, Bob Mares is there too. But yeah, I did see Racer. Thanks for the support. Hugo's in there. He's always in TFR. A lot of TFR people in there. So the show basically is we look at presenting what is the top freestyle songs for the week. We do a 15 track countdown, depending on whether or not we have an artist that we're going to interview. We sometimes, depending on time restraints, we'll just name the top 15 to 10 and then play the top 10 songs. What a lot of people don't know is that we actually do have a voting crew. I've got about 12 DJs and 4 producers who we actually send the material out to and get their feedback on what they believe is, the best songs that are being played. And artists are awarded a certain amount of points from producers, a certain amount of points from artists, and a certain amount of points. Oh, see, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
I was afraid this is going to happen, but we'll be back on. There we are. Yep. Sorry. But Yeah, so there's points that are being awarded to these artists, and then what we do is we ask them to pick the top eight songs, and if we have a couple of debuts, they'll pick some debuts, and we tally out the points for what the DJs and the producers think are the best tracks, and then we allow on Twitter, Instagram for fans to go in and vote on these songs, and then we compile this list, and the list shoots out of points, and wherever the artists land, that's where they are.
Okay.
And we find that it works very, very well. We don't pick and choose who we think should be in the countdown or who's not in the countdown. We give every artist an opportunity to have their music heard, and we basically put it out there for people to vote on. And if it gets voted into the countdown, we put it into the countdown. If it doesn't get voted into, then that kind of gives you the opportunity to sit back as an artist or a producer and say, hey, you know what? You got to come back a little bit better. You got to come back a little bit stronger, and do something with a little bit more quality and execution. So that's how we do that. The show itself is on every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, and we have a guest every week. We have like a recording artist that will come in. We're starting to do a little bit more interviews with some producers, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It really, really is. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of interaction. The amount of people that are in the chat room is really, really fun. We have, just on Mixcloud alone, we have close to about just under 1,000 followers for the show. So the show has really done well over the last year, and we're hoping at some point or another we'll be able to also make a leap from internet radio to actual FM radio, and deliver something there, on a more professional scale and stuff like that. But we do it for the fun, we do it for the passion of it, and again, you meet so many quality people.
Are you playing the music as well, or you're just doing the countdown?
I basically am. I'm on the show just like we are on the show with you today. Lex is the IT guy. He's the one that programs all the music in, writes down the countdown. I'm there basically from my experience in freestyle. I've been around freestyle ever since I was 15 years old. My knowledge of freestyle, I think, is good. I have a huge record collection. My record collection for freestyle music is close to about 3,000 pieces in my collection. And basically what I do is I present an opening song for the people that really don't know a lot of rare underground freestyle that was delivered, and we play that. And then during the show, we'll talk about the songs that are being played, and kind of give you a little bit of feedback of who the artists are and stuff like that. And it's a lot of interaction. It's a lot of interaction.
Have you had issues though with, like, I mean, I know you mentioned Mixcloud, which I see a comment here. Someone wants to know the Mixcloud so they can follow you. Can you tell them?
It's actually, no, we're not on Mixcloud. We're on the Freestyle Radio streamer. So the Freestyle Radio has a streamer where you can go in, and we do the show. We do the show actually live, like we are live, just like we are right now when we do the show. And there's a link that you click into. It opens up a brand new screen. You click unmute, and then you can go ahead and you can chat. And it's
very cool.
The best system.
So that's what I was wondering, because obviously Facebook has made it impossible to play any type of music or anything. So I wasn't sure, how that was working, because, the DJs and stuff are all getting shut down and flagged and everything else for playing music. So that's why I was curious. So you're not physically doing that on that. You're presenting the link so that people can go to this chat forum, if you will.
Yeah. So that's if you want to be interactive and go into the chat room and be with the rest of the people that are there that are watching the show. Racer actually just dropped the link into the chat box. So for anybody that wants to go, it's the streamer the freestyleradio.com chat, and you can click on that, and it'll allow you. Yeah, you click on that stream, and it takes you right into their platform. Now their platform is on Facebook. You can go through Facebook, but it's technically not part of Facebook, and that's the best part. Their platform is so cool that they never get flagged. They never get shut down. Facebook doesn't have any control over them, and it's a very, very safe environment. It's very, very positive. It's
Sounds
drama
very
free.
cool.
It's very, very drama free, and we average close to about 40 people in the chat room during our show, and then the show itself is being podcasted over 9 different radio stations, and we hit close to about 17 countries.
That's
So
awesome.
we get a lot of listeners. We do get a lot of listeners, and you are right. I apologize for that. Mixcloud, if you go to Extreme Mix Radio underneath DJ Lex, Alex Sanchez, you'll see the podcast there, and you can click on there to follow, and you can start following us on Mixcloud, because all of our shows are done live, and then the podcast is put up onto Mixcloud.
Is DJ Lex on here? Can they type that out so I can put that on?
You know what? If Racer, you're listening right now, can you put the link for the Mixcloud for Extreme
Throw it
Mix
up
Radio?
there, and I'll throw it on the screen so everybody could see it.
Yeah,
DJ,
hopefully Racer can help us out with that.
Racy, get going. We all need a right arm and a left arm. That's why my poor Carmela and Lisa are jumping around on all the pages right now.
Yes.
So, and I just want to say thank you to everybody that is tuned in tonight. You're listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy and my special guest, Angelo, and we are live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. We are live on all social media platforms, at least the ones I have, YouTube, Periscope, the couple of different Facebook pages that I have. So if any of you guys are new to the show, please jump on the Real Talk. It's Real Talk group, but then we have the page, which is the Karen Stacy page. Please hit that like button and follow. Is there a place that they can follow for your show? All right, here, he just did it on Mixcloud. There we go. Now I put the Mixcloud up. So these are all your links that I'm posting up here right now, right, Angelo? These are all how people find you.
Yeah, those are for the Mixcloud. Is for the podcast. If you want to join or listen to the show, if you missed the live show, you can go on to Mixcloud. You can listen to the show there. Click follow. We would love for you to follow us. And the other link was for the streamer for the Freestyle Radio, where you can go in and actually watch the show live, and you can chat in there. Like I said, it's extremely positive, and it's so much fun. The chat room is an absolute, just a great time, for everybody. It's very, very positive. The CFMAM production page is basically just a page for artists, producers, and DJs to showcase what they do. It is a private group because there is a lot of unsavory people out there that are watching what you're doing.
That was kind. Unsavory. I like that.
Yeah. So in order for you to want to be to see what's going on the page, you have to be a member. And basically, the page itself is for my DJs. You know what I mean? That are with CFMAM. I shouldn't say mine, because I don't own them. I respect them enough to be able to, for them to be able to go out and network with other people that they want to network with. But they're under the CFMAM banner. They're amazing DJs. They've got a ton of talent. All of the stuff that we do for CFMAM goes on that page. It goes on our fan page. But that CFMAM production page is basically just a platform for other artists and producers and DJs to kind of put their stuff out there to say, hey, look, you know what? This is something that I do. And, we support a lot of new school freestyle. We're always posting about new music that's coming out. Fantastic shows like yourself for people to really get an understanding that there is things that are out there. And I'll be honest with you. I want to say, thank you so much to Angel Feliciano, because he was the one who actually invited me the first time to your show. Yep. And I inboxed him the next day, and I was like, wow, that was so interactive. It felt so real, it was in the moment, and, you didn't know what was going to happen. And it was such a great conversation. And he said, I think you'd make an amazing guest on there. So, I want to thank him for reaching that bridge out to you. And I think what you do is absolutely amazing. And the fact that the show is called Real Talk, it is Real Talk, because you know what, you can come on here, and I have felt comfortable since we've started, that I feel like I can say whatever it is I want to say and not be judged for it,
You know what? I you got me speechless for a second there, Angelo. Nobody does that. I really, I mean, thank you, because that's what it's all about. Um, I was blessed to meet Angel through my Carmela. And when all right, let's see. I don't know what he just put up there, so I'll put that on there.
Yeah, right. So that's actually the link for CFMM radio. So if you go to CFMM radio, you'll hear, and the good thing about CFMM radio, and I know other radio stations do too, because it's not just in Canada, but the best thing about CFMM radio is that you can listen to Canadian content. 40% of the radio station is Canadian content, so we are paying tribute to Canada, and we're playing a lot of Canadian music there. So that is the actual link that you can go into, and you can hear all the CFMM mixes. I do have friends that are on the radio station there. Racers mixes from 105.9 FM are being played there. A lot of friends from CFMAM. We have a dedicated slot for all of our friends to have their mixes heard. We play a ton of new school. We have a lot of old school, classic stuff, a lot of rework stuff on there. It's just a great place to go and listen to music.
Well, you know what? And again, it's we, like you said, Angel had kind of connected us. I also have never met Angel before. He became like my tech guy, and he like fixed everything for me in like 8 seconds. And obviously I've seen him DJ, and he's a fabulous DJ. And he's a good human. And then he connected the two of us together. And we connected, obviously, and we were able to do the show. But first of all, I appreciate the kind words, because obviously you watch the show organically, like everyone else did. And it's just nice that you said that, because in the beginning, when we first got our cameras on and we made sure the audio was good and everything, your words to me were, "I'm nervous." And I said, "You can't be nervous." And you said, "Well, I do, and I said, "You do this all the time. You don't have to be nervous." And you're like, "Yeah, but I'm prepared because it's my show." And I said, "Well, that's even better. You don't have to be prepared. You can just be and don't worry about it." But you were cute because, you were saying like, "I'm good." And that's the whole thing is, you know what? I may be, I am as real as they come, but that doesn't mean that you got to get thrown under a bus to be real. So I'm not going to put somebody on a spot where, I mean, sometimes don't get me wrong. I know when I can put somebody on the spot. And if I'm putting them on the spot, they already knew they were going to be put on the spot. It's different. You know what I'm saying? But I would never, make somebody uncomfortable like that, because that's not the type of person that I am. Because if somebody did that to me, I'd fucking kill them. So I wouldn't do that to people. But I appreciate the fact that, first of all, you're obviously a very real, sincere, grounded man. And for you to say that, I about the show, and that it is real talk, I do really, really appreciate it, because that I feel that we don't have enough of that out there right now. And you know what? If you and I were arguing right now, and if you and I were talking about all the drama that goes on in freestyle, and you were naming names, and we were going back and forth, the ratings would be through the roof. It would be shared from here until kingdom come. But when you do a show that's organic and that actually has legs and roots to it, you're going to have those. And you know what? My husband always said, steady always wins the race. So, you get those little things, and you see other people, and I watch other people's show, and I go, I can't get through 5 minutes. How do they have, tens of thousands of people watching them? But you know what? To each his own. Some people want one thing and some people want another thing. And those people, you find your people. And, so I always do find that like-minded people find one another, so you're not going to want to come on my show if you don't like the way I do things. You're going to want to come on my show if you like the way I do things. Right. Yes. So that's just how it kind of goes. But I think that's also called, don't call me crazy, I think it's called respect.
Yes.
Oh my God, what is that? Mm-hmm. Look, my dog was like, "What, mommy? What?" I know, respect. Who does that anymore? I mean, I think that's what it has a lot to do with. And unfortunately, so many people forgot what that meant, or means rather, I think would be the right thing to say. So it's nice to meet people that are human, that believe in what they do. Obviously, we can all see how passionate you are about this, and about your music. And I've interviewed, well, I don't call it interviewing because I'm not a journalist, but I've had a lot of freestyle people on my shows. I'm a freestyle girl, but I'm a rocker. I like everything, to be quite honest with you. But I grew up with freestyle.
Yes.
So it's very different because, we all talk about all these places that we all went to together. A lot of freestyle artists I was personal friends with, that like I grew up with a few of them. So it's a little more near and dear to me. I never hung out with Bon Jovi. Not that I wouldn't want to, but
I'm in that same situation too. People think that because I do freestyle, it's been my passion, and it's just freestyle, but it really isn't. There was a time from like maybe 2000 to 2010 where I wasn't listening to freestyle at all. I went through that whole stage. I love all different types of music. I've gone through that whole underground stage, but I absolutely love rock and roll music, alternative music. I'm a huge folk country guy. A lot of people won't know that. My first love was actually electro. So I'm all over the place, but I've been to so many different styles, different styles of music when it comes to even concerts itself. I'll give you two examples. I took my husband to see Metallica, at the Air Canada Center, and it was a crazy show.
Best.
Yes. And Lamb of God was opening up, and he was so cute because we had gotten to these box seats that a friend of mine gave us. And there was like 4 rows and then some glass. And if you sat where the first row was and looked down, you were halfway in between where the stage and the mosh pit was. Oh, and all you saw was people going crazy. So he was terrified. He was holding on to that glass like, for his life. Sure. And the next box beside me, I've got like 10, 15-year-old kids all headbanging, going crazy. I was afraid that one of them was actually going to fall over. But we went to go watch them, and Lamb of God opened up, and about 15, 20 minutes into their set, he looks at me and says, "Oh my God, Metallica is so amazing." And I'm like, "That's not Metallica." I said, "You'll know when Metallica hits the stage." And it was a fantastic show. But and then the funny part about all this is that the following week, we went and saw NSYNC, which was another amazing show. Okay. And it was just so funny because we're in this section of like hundreds of little 15, 16-year-old girls. Right. And I got my husband screaming, "Take off your shirt, Justin, take off your shirt." And I'm like, "Can you please just sit down?"
Simmer down now.
I go all over the place. I love the Tea Party. I love the Counting Crows, Metallica, Soundgarden. Just so my range of music is all over the place, and it's good to have an open mind to a lot of things. And myself, diversity is huge for me. I look at everybody and give everybody an opportunity, and I always look for the best in every single person that I meet. And sometimes my husband will say, you give a little bit too much, and you're not respected enough, or and there's a lot of stuff that's happened over the last little while. And I just some people will say to me, you need to punch back. You need to punch back.
Right.
And for me, sometimes I think being silent is probably the best thing that you can do, because when people don't hear your words, it does. Yeah. Yep. You know what I mean? So if people are sitting there and they're talking shit about you, it's probably because you're doing something good and you're being respected by a lot of people, and they just they feel the push coming. And it's about, and that's what real talk is all about, right?
Well, you know what?
Putting that stamp out there.
I'm going to say 2 things right now. First of all, I am like, so like, I love the fact that you are also who you are. And I didn't ask you about nothing. Most people, to be honest with you, the fact that, you're open about your life, how many people, walk around and pretend that they live a different life than they do.
Yeah.
And why? Because people judge. So right
Yeah.
now, if anybody hears you talking about your husband and they judge, they can go fuck themselves and they should get off of this feed right now. Because, I mean, but this
Thank
is,
you.
you know what I'm saying? Because you know what you just said, and it's good because you got to have that yin and that yang. So it's good that you have somebody there that's saying to you, hey, you know what? That person's not doing the right thing by you. You need to open up your eyes. He punch back, he's saying, but he respects you and knows you enough to let you do it. But I don't know, when my husband was alive, he would do that. And then he knew I could handle myself. But when he saw something was going a certain way, then he was like, okay, you need to handle that now.
Well, the way I look at it is, I spent a lot of time, in my younger years, closeted. I never actually came out until I was 27 years old.
I'm sure.
And I got really lucky because I met my husband, Paul, about 3 months after I came out, and we've been together for 21 years.
God bless.
I never went through all of that trying to figure out and whether or not it is what it is and that type of stuff there. But I will say this, I spent a lot of time with him, and I was working in places where I knew it wasn't really accepted, and I was burdening myself. And it just got to the point where I thought to myself, you know what, if I can't be who I am, and there's somebody out there that's going to impact my life in a negative way, I just need to push that person out of the way. And it was, a lot of people talk about it, and it's so true, trying to be yourself and coming out to those who, you need to come out to. It was one of the hardest things that I had to go through in life. But I will tell you this, when I finally did, just the release that I had within myself was just huge. And there's nothing that I feel more proud about just being myself. And that's what I do. I'm just myself.
Gift. You know what? It is the greatest gift, and it is the hardest thing to look at me with the dog's bone in my hand. It is the hardest thing to do. Mm-hmm. Because I was talking about this today on the show. I was saying I was always the round peg trying to fit into the square hole. And, I was, although I was always popular, I was popular because I was built like a brick shit house. I mean, I knew why I was fucking popular. I was popular with the guys because everybody wanted to bang me. And I wasn't popular with the girls. Well, it's true. I mean, let's call a spade. I mean, I know. And, the women all hated me because all the guys wanted to bang me. So, I mean, you got to know who and what you are, and you got to know. And there are people, I could get on here, I could get on this show, and I could wear a low-cut shirt. I could dress however I want, doll myself up with makeup. I could do everything I could do. But I choose not to, because I want people to want me for who and what I am and what I offer, not because I'm built like a brick shit house, because someday I may not be. God willing, I won't, and I'll be walking on my hands for the rest of my life, so everything fits where it's supposed to. But you have to know what you bring to the table, and you have to own it. So that's why I'm saying, like, if you put me, so for instance, when Miami Mike put me on the radio station, I mean, he knew that I was, he tells me, try not to curse. Oh, okay. And then he's like, well, if it slips out, and then, it slipped out, like, forget about it. So yeah, I curse. I've had somebody tell me just recently, you're better than that. You should clean it up and not curse and this, that, and the other. And I understood what they were saying. No, but I understood what they were saying. They were trying to say, you can be, like mainstream if you can clean up your language, was what they were trying to say. Like, you know what? The people, like, for instance, the people that watch their show might not appreciate me because of the way that I speak. So I get that. And I've worked my whole life to try to tone myself down to fit in. And I will never fit in.
Yep.
So I am not toning it down. Yes, there are certain times that I do try to behave, but like you were saying, the same thing, once you're comfortable inside of you, nothing else matters. And that's why nobody could touch me.
Exactly.
So that's the whole thing, is you got to be grounded. When people are going to keep like this, they're going to keep coming at you, and when your feet are in the fucking ground, keep hitting me, motherfucker. I'm right here. You're
I
not
got
going
so
to
much mad respect for you right now.
well
That's exactly the way it is. There's people out there that want to live two separate lives, and they want to be perceived as one thing, but there really are something totally different. And for me, it just got to that point where I thought to myself, I'm only going to be able to be who I am once I put myself out there. And I did, and I'm open with my family, I'm open with my friends. And it was very difficult too, because so many people said to me, "Oh my God, if you didn't tell me, I would never have known."
right, but like,
Because I don't come across as
cooties.
that.
What does that mean? I would have
Yeah,
never have known. What?
yeah,
Like, I have the cooties? What does that mean? I would have never known. Like, like that's the kind of
yeah.
thing. Like, what does that fucking even mean? Like, I just don't get that. And this is what I talk about, and I talk about this on my show all the time. Why do people judge? Do not judge another human. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know anything. So don't judge them. You can have an opinion. You may say that you don't want that lifestyle for yourself, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you can't have that. People may not curse, and that's great, but I fucking do. So if you don't like it, then don't listen. Granted, I of course, I do certain things to try to, zing it out there. But at the same token, this is who I am, and you have to be who you are. And I totally, totally just respect you, because, you were forthcoming with it straight up off the bat. And like, I'm not even fazed by it. Remember, I've been in the theater my whole life.
Yeah.
So I went to performing arts high school, and I was a dance major. We did dance and drama. So now I was 13 when I went there. So 13 to 17, I was in school, right? Or 12 to 10, whatever it was. And most of the guys were all gay. At least the dance majors were. The drama majors were sneaking upstairs to look at us in our leotards and tights. But the dancers, the guys were sneaking out to look at, the other guys. So I was used to that. I grew up with that. So it didn't even faze me. We would get undressed in front of them. Like, there's no better thing in the world than having a gay friend. I mean, we'd go shopping, we'd do whatever, So I'm not fazed by all that. I was raised around all of it. So I was raised by two hippies that fucking, my mother burned her bra. Like me, I'm not fazed by things like that. If I don't like you, I don't like you because I don't like the human that you are. I could give a shit whether you're, by this, that, what, I don't care. As long as, if a girl is like, for instance, if I got like a lesbian woman, if she's hitting on me, I'm going to treat her the same way I'm treating a guy that's hitting on me, like back it up now. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I don't give a shit, whatever. It's all, to me, it's all good. It's all fair, and yeah. Everybody should just own it. And if people would stop, and that being said, I also don't think you have to go to the extreme either. So people that said to you, I would have never known, right? I would have never known. Why? Because you're not, out there and you're not flamboyant. What is it supposed to look like?
And that's exactly what it is, right? There's so many misconceptions of what gay really is. You know what I mean? Like, you could probably look at my husband and you would think, yeah, you know what? Okay, this guy, he's got more of a feminine look to him. You know what I mean? But I still remember the first time when I came out, you know what I mean? And we were downtown and my husband took me to this bar called the Black Eagle. Okay. And it's for very muscular men, and I remember getting on the backyard patio. It was in the summertime, and I opened the door and there's these 4 men that are standing there that look like they belong to a motorcycle gang, and they're knitting. They're having a conversation. One is knitting a hat and something, and they're all just talking. And I was just completely floored. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So you know what? It's putting labels and covers on people. Right. You really, really don't know. You really, really don't know.
That's right.
So,
And I talked about, it's so funny that we're talking about all these things from a completely different angle, but I talked about this on my show this morning. I said exactly the same thing. Bikers, whatever. Those are the most loyal people you'll ever meet in your life. I mean, so people label people because they think, oh, long hair and tattoos, motorcycles, they're going to try to kill you, all of that. It's if you took 5 minutes to talk to them, they would make sure. And women, oh my God, they're the most respectful to women. I mean, there are certain groups, of course, that maybe not so much, but for the most part, they're all very respectful.
yeah.
So you cannot judge a book by its cover. I basically form my opinion on people based on how they treat me. Somebody could tell me that you are the nicest guy in the world, but if I'm talking to you and I'm like, nah, that guy don't seem so nice, like I'm not feeling that. I don't think he's nice. I'm glad you think he's nice. I don't feel that way. So everybody has a different energy and they're going to feel, differently. But the fact that, to me, the most important thing that I always talk about on the show is just, being organic, being yourself. It's so important to do that, because we're not sitting here fluffing people. We're telling people the way it is. And you know what? There could be somebody watching right now. There could be a 30-year-old man that's in a struggle, and they're watching the show right now and just heard you, say how, when you were how old did you say you were? 28 or something?
27.
27 when you met, Paul, and boom, it just worked. So somebody could be listening and going, holy shit, it's really, that was it?
Yeah. But I'll tell you a story, though. I'll tell you a really, really interesting story. When I first met him, this is really funny because we still laugh about this every once in a while. I actually pulled the Sunny test. I don't know if you know what the Sunny test is from Bronx Tale. So the movie Bronx Tale, one of my favorite movies.
Oh, yes.
Sunny said to Calogero, when you get out of the car, lock both doors, or lock your door. And when you get out and you walk to the other side, you open that door. If that person gets in and doesn't automatically lean over and open the door for you, that's not the one for you.
Yep.
And so when I met Paul, I'm not ashamed to admit it. We met online. It was on May 2nd of 1999. Okay. And I went to his place. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning, and we had fun. And 2 days later, I went back, and I went to go pick him up. We went out for coffee, and sure enough, I got out. I locked my door. I walked over, I opened the door, he got in and instantly just leaned over and opened the lock. And I thought, okay, this guy could be a keeper. So a couple of days, we hung out for a couple of days, and I said to him, I called him one night and I said, I'm going to come pick you up. We're going to go out for dinner. And he said, okay, fine. And, I got there and I kissed him on the street. And he kind of a little flustered. And I said to him, I said, what's wrong? I said, I can't kiss my boyfriend. And he goes, boyfriend? And he started to laugh. And he's like, boyfriend? And I said, yeah. And he said, okay. He said, look, you're 27 years old. You just came out. You know what I mean? You haven't even experienced what gay life is all about. For 3 months, Karen, he took me to every bar, every event, art museums. He showed me everything. And then came back to me and said, is this what you really want? And I said, yes. I said, you are exactly what I want. And it's been 21 years.
You know what? That's a beautiful thing, because I forgot what that feels like. I'm just now fortunate. I mean, I've always been fortunate that I do have, one or two really amazing people that are by me. But I forgot what it felt like. Because my husband was he was my everything. And, like I said to you before, when he said he was looking out for you, and everybody should have that person that is looking out and wants only the best. So he showed you right there, he only wanted the best for you. He could have manipulated you If
Yeah.
he was a different person, which
Yeah.
so many people are, right? Calculated and manipulative, and been like, he's right for the picking, baby. I'm getting what I want, and whatever. And that wasn't what he did. So and 21 years. I mean, that's amazing. And I wish you another, a million decades left to go, because it's amazing to be able to do that. I mean, I met my husband when I was 21 as well. Well, not, you weren't 21, but close to it. And there's something to be said for that. And it's not so easy to really create those bonds as we get older, because we become more calloused, more guarded, and unfortunately, there are a lot of people that are up to no good. So I'm glad that. All right, my dog's going nuts now. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm inside today because it's so bad outside that I couldn't make it into my studio area. So I'm actually in my house, which is why I have the psycho puppy here. Normally, I don't have that, but today.
There's a comment that was made in the chat room from a gentleman by the name of Osvaldo Bracco.
Okay.
It said, "You're an amazing man, Angelo Micieli. Mad respect and mad love." I hope that comes from somebody who feels as comfortable as I am about himself. And a lot of these people that are in the chat room are saying some really, really nice things. And I just want to say to him that I hope that gay or straight, I hope that he's being exactly who he needs to be the person that he needs to be. And I just want to thank you for that compliment. It really, really does make me feel good to know that people, can accept people for who they are and what they do. And yourself being on social media and having CFMAM and the show. Sometimes you keep a lot of your personal life to yourself, and you don't kind of put yourself out there. And there's times that I wish that I could be a little bit more of myself on my page and stuff like that. But I try to keep it a little bit more professional. But this was a huge opportunity for me to come on and just really let people know who I am. And
it's so important.
It felt so good. And I thank you so much for it.
And I'm so glad, because you know what? I've had a lot of people that come on the show, and so for instance, I've had DJs that have come on the show, and different various people, and their fans watch the show. After they watch the show, they're like, I loved you before, now I really love you. So it goes back to what I was saying earlier. There are certain people, let's say DJs, actors, actresses, that I may love their work, but I may not like them as a human. Then there are other people, like I'm a huge Stevie Nicks fan. So like when I watched the documentary on Stevie Nicks, I was like, oh my God, now I love her even more. Like I didn't think that was possible. So that's the reason why I like to do this. Sometimes for some people, it's a little too deep, and that's okay. But that's why I like to do that, because even I had Freestyle Ricky on a couple of weeks ago, and I got him by the end of the show. He was mellow, and he's like, "Damn, Karen, you got me telling shit I don't tell nobody,"
Mm-hmm.
And so, but you know how many people on the feed were like, "Now I love you that much more, Ricky, because of it," So I'm just using him as an example because it was a couple of weeks ago, but that's what it's all about, is being real and being able to be authentic. Because yes, when you do your show, you have to do your show a certain way, because you have a job to do in that situation, right? So now you have an opportunity to be you, so that people can know the man behind all of these amazing platforms, and even just how you started it. Does everybody know that you were in an accident and that was when you started that? Probably not.
Probably not, no.
So just little things like that, which to me, when someone, so you took a tragedy and you turned it into a life-changing event.
You know what it was just a simple and you have no idea what was transpiring through that entire time. I went through that stage of being having anxiety and being depressed and putting on a lot of weight, and I was going to Dr. Poon, which was a very, very strict diet, but I was down 100 pounds. I had lost 100 pounds, and I was coming home from my weigh-in. and we were just sitting at a light having a conversation, and bang, we got hit from behind. And for the next 3 months, I was at home, wearing glasses, just level 4 concussion. Sometimes I would even throw up after eating because of the concussion.
Yeah.
Got really, really bad. And we went through that whole period of 2 years of physiotherapy. So there was a lot of time at home.
Yeah.
And again, it just seemed like, I can sit here and feel sorry for myself, or I can try to get myself better, go through the physiotherapy. And then, obviously, like we talked about, it just happened that, I decided that, I was going to do a freestyle page. And what's really, really interesting about all of this is that 2 weeks before I opened CFMAM, I actually opened an electro page. So had I stuck with the electro page, because electro is my first love, CFMAM would have never even been born. And for some reason or another, through those 2 weeks, I had about maybe 150, 200 members that had joined the page. I kept on saying to myself, this isn't the right thing. This isn't the right thing. And I got rid of that page and I opened up CFM, and it's just been incredible. I've met so many people. I've got so many connections through the music industry. And yeah, it's incredible how you can turn something that's an absolute, just, sad thing into something very, very, happy and very, very positive.
Yeah.
It's not just me, myself, though. Like, I've had a lot of support. I've got my DJ crew. One of the DJs in my crew is my cousin, DJ Classic, Rob DeSanto. But I really want to give a lot of credit to DJ Noel Nice. For a lot of you guys that don't know who Noel Rivera is, he is my brother. Like, he is my right-hand man. He is your Carmela. Just the support that I get from him, and what he brings to CFMAM, and what he's done to help make CFMAM what it is, I can never repay him back for that. And he is absolutely just an amazing person, single father. His daughter is like straight A's in school, and he works hard every day. And it's so funny, because this is someone that I thought, that I think is someone that, women would just want to be around. No drinking, no drugs, doesn't smoke, takes care of his daughter, goes to work 8 hours a day. You know what I mean? And it just seems like, he's always saying to me, I can't find that right woman. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what? That woman will come along when the time comes along. You know what I mean? But, I've got him, and there's other DJs that are involved in CFMAM that have helped grown the brand. I've got so many friends within the business of radio stations that I've worked with. The Freestyle Radio, that's my family. Racer is my brother. You know what I mean? I love him, just as much as I love the DJs that work with me, and the people that are there with them, and there's great people that are in this music business that really want to be with you and help you grow. And I'm sure you feel the same way too. You have these people that are with you, that are in your camp, that make you, want to succeed even more,
Actually, I'm going to interrupt you on that one. Almost quite the contrary.
Really?
I did most of this on my own, basically. I was Miami Mike gave me the platform, which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah.
And the rest of it was, if you build it, they will come. So I was doing it basically alone. We had some people on the station that were supportive, but for the most part, I learned by trial and error, and I was the one sharing all my posts. I was the one doing everything. I am thank you. After doing this, my show will be on the radio in March, next month, 3 years. And I have Carmela now, and I have Lisa now, and that has I've had Carmela for. I mean, this has been short. It's been a few months at best. But, yes, when you have good people, it definitely helps you to go in the right direction. But I have always had the adverse, I've had the opposite. I've had people against me for so long that I actually learned how to to barrel through that, because there was no way that somebody else was gonna determine my what I was going to do or my success, because the more people kept trying to push me down, and it still happens. It's like, you know what, know your place, get over.
It's funny that you say that, because I always give back to them. Like I'll always say to my DJ crew, without you guys, CFMAM is nothing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But they always come back and they say to me, especially Noel. Noel will say to me all the time, "You are CFMAM. You made this. You're building an empire, and you've done that." And you know what? It's great to have that type of support. And as much as you want to be in control, you I think you do need some people that are going to kind of help you out a little bit, and it's not just the freestyle radio. When we first started, United by Music was there, and we had some really good friendships with United by Music, and Carlos Gomez at Freestyle Forever, and Alex with Extreme Mix Radio. We've built a lot of really, really good, solid friendships based on
amazing
that support being there for each other. And that's why that whole support equals support thing is so huge for me. And I'm willing to support anybody. And you know what, to be honest with you, sometimes I think to myself, do I need to be supported in order to support you? No. I will support you as long as I know that you're doing something in a positive way, and you're making an impact, and you're making a difference in someone else's life.
Right.
Because that's very, very important to me.
And to me, I mean, unfortunately, sometimes I think that life gets in the way too. So I think that people may want to support more, but it may be difficult to do that. So, for instance, Miami Mike works like ridiculous hours. So when I have a technical question, he could answer me at 3:00 in the morning, but I'm not awake at 3:00 in the morning. So it's a little difficult, to get the help, because not everybody is available. And then remember, up until, March, most of the DJs were doing gigs. Everybody was very busy. So it's also, very difficult because everybody was doing their own thing. I think now people are not so much doing, unfortunately, a lot of people are grounded, but you are very fortunate. Most people don't have a story like yours where you formed something and you have these people that are your building blocks. And the fact that you're so gracious, and you recognize that these people are what make you who you are, is what keeps you humble and not be an egomaniac. Yeah. So, I think, like I always say all the time, to me, the people that make me who I am is everybody that's on this feed right now. Everybody that's listening to Miami Mike Radio, everybody that watches my show, they are my support. And even the ones that have something nasty to say, they're still my support.
Well, there's always going to be someone there that's got something nasty to say.
That's okay, because you learn from that too, because maybe the delivery could be different, but maybe there's validity to what they say. So, it's all good. And so, you are blessed. You're a good person. I believe that the universe takes care of good people, and you found your people, and you're able to do this and be supported. And that's so important. I am blessed to have so many amazing people that are supporting me as well. And that's the only way. I mean, you don't, like you said, you don't need support to be support, but it helps. It helps you be able to be a better you.
Exactly.
And I just got the alert that my laptop is about to die. So talk amongst yourselves so I can plug it in.
Not a problem. Just want to say thank you to everybody that's in the chat room right now. So many wonderful comments. Want to say hello to Monica Sconzo, which hopefully I'm pronouncing her name right. Lisa Veletutu. Obviously, Carmela's with us. Thank you so much. No one's gonna hurt your girl. Don't worry. DJ Storytime Bob is with us, and who else is in here? Gina Conroy, who absolutely loves you and says that you rock. I got my boy DJ Racer that's in there. Big shout out to Angel Feliciano. Yes, I am an electro freak. I love electro. I have a ton of electro music. And if you want to share some, I'm willing to share some with you. Want to give a big shout out to Michelle Cotto Neves, who's with us, and just so many other people that were in here. I know that you're back now, so I'm going to give you the mic.
Thank you. No, listen, I appreciate you doing those shout outs. And yes, I don't know, it went blank for a second. I thought I screwed something up. But no, listen, it's really nice to do a show with somebody that knows what they're doing, because I could actually like stop for a second and plug it in and not be like, oh no.
Yeah. Also want to give a big shout out to Juan, Juan the twin, Gonzalez there. He, I believe his last name is, yeah, Juan the twin. He was in a little bit earlier today. He had a birthday just recently with George Anthony.
Oh, okay.
So he said hello, and I just wanted to give him a big shout out.
Yes, and listen, I do want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in tonight. I apologize that we didn't read all of the comments this evening. Again, I just want to reiterate, whenever we do Real Talk, the same way, like that's why I do my show. Coffee Talk is all about us, and it's interactive. On Real Talk, if I have a guest, it's all about my guest, and we're talking to each other. So it's a little more difficult to read all the comments. It doesn't mean that we don't know you're here. It doesn't mean that your comments don't matter. It just means that we're talking, and if I stopped in between, we both stopped in between everything, we would have, to read the comments, we would have never gotten to the discussion. So that's the reason why I try to do two different platforms, so that I am able to interact a little bit more, because I love my fans as well. But, I got to give Angelo, attention. So I had to devote it. So I want to say thank you to anybody that tuned in, that is new today, that is in one of Angelo's followers, if you will, or posse and family. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. And, and I also want to thank all of our regular Real Talk listeners for welcoming Angelo and being so awesome with him as well. So before we sign off, I want you to just tell everybody again where they can find you. I know you have your shows on Sunday. Just give the rundown. And then I know you said you don't have a lot of people on your Facebook. So is there like someplace? I mean, I know we put up a couple of links, but let's just let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, I got my own personal page under Angelo Micieli. You can go to CFMAM Productions and Google the actual support page. There's the CFMAM fan page where you can go and you can Google that as well. There's the DJ Lex Extreme Mix Radio Mixcloud page where you can go in and follow us for the Freestyle Spotlight Countdown. And that's basically about it. I'm pretty much open to, having conversations and being friendly with everybody that wants to have conversations. So if you want to send me a friend's request, please do, and hopefully we can connect on some sort of level.
Tell them Real Talk sent you.
Yes, I will. And if if you got nothing better to do on a Sunday afternoon at 5:00 p.m., come into the Freestyle Radio streamer and listen to the show. We do the top 15 freestyle tracks every week. We've got some very, very interesting guests. This Sunday coming up, we'll be talking with DJ Merk1, Alec Baldridge, Louis Marte, and recording artist Edie. So if you guys want to join in, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to interview the three of them, and we're going to play the top 15 tracks of the week.
Well, I have to say that you're going to laugh at me, okay? Sundays is normally my day that my father comes over. And I am 50 years old and I am not allowed on my phone or anything. So I'm telling you, you have no idea. And so people like the shows, and I'm like, there's no, Sunday, forget about it. There's not a chance in hell I'm going to get on there. But if the weather's bad and he doesn't come over for some reason on a Sunday, I will do my best to get on there. But that's my only problem with that is, so I guess you said that there's also on Mixcloud, right? So you can catch the
if you can't make the show at 5 o'clock, you can go to Mixcloud and you can listen to the podcast from there.
Which is that's pretty cool too. And, for any of the people that tuned in today to support Angelo, feel free to jump on and support me as well. You can like my Karen Stacy page, hit the follow button, turn on your notifications. So every time we go live, you will know. I'm on all social media, Twitch. It's basically Real Talk Karen Stacy on everything. I'm on Twitch. I'm on YouTube. I have I'm trying to build my YouTube following. I have 24 people. It's scary, but what are you going to do? I never did YouTube. So now I'm putting it on YouTube too, but it's kind of funny, but this is what we're about, right? We want to all support one another, be one big happy family. So, follow Angelo, follow me, and let's all just, support one another and, and try to break the bullshit, right? Let's show people the way it should be. How's that? Is that the right way to put it?
That was perfectly said. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you so much for having me tonight. This has been so much fun. I didn't know what to expect, but I had a funny feeling that it was just going to be a lot of fun, a lot of positive, so many wonderful people, that I know that showed up tonight and supported me. And I just want to say thank you to all of them. You have a fantastic fan base. And I love everything about the show and what you do. And I'm a fan of you, and I will be definitely listening to your show going forward. I will promote your show on my CFMAM fan page, so everybody can know exactly what's going on with you. And I'm hoping at one point or another, maybe I can come back and do another interview with you.
Why not?
Another day and chit chat somewhere down the road.
Why not? Listen, I find that to be the greatest compliment when people finish the show with me and they'll go, oh my God, I can't believe it went that fast. And they're like, oh, I want to do it again. And it would be the same thing. They'd come on the show, they were a little nervous, they were a little whatever. And then they were like, oh my God, it's over. Okay. I want to do it again, which, I'm grateful. And again, I'm not a journalist. I'm just a talker. So I get people to talk, and the whole point is you should feel comfortable. And that's why I don't tolerate bullshit on my pages. So, we can all agree to disagree. And if anybody was making a stupid comment, trust me, even though I'm not paying attention, I'd see that. And if anybody had something to say, I would have shot that down real fast because
I've been watching the comments, and it's so wonderful. It was everybody in there was very respectful, and it's great to see how much positive people there are out there. Just so you know, Racer and Bob just made a quote saying that they are now officially a huge Karen fan.
Oh,
so I brought a little bit of my circle to your circle, and that's what it's all about. And you know what, Carmela is so wonderful. I will send you the link for the show.
Great.
I want to thank Mark Jindrick for being with us tonight too.
Yep.
It was a great show. I feel blessed having the opportunity to come on here, and I'm sure my husband's going to have a lot of fun listening to us chat when I watch this again. I can't believe it's been almost 2 hours.
You see?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
well, and listen, after the show, share it on your pages and stuff so that anybody that missed it can see it. People don't realize that this is how it stays alive. You just put it out again and people can watch it, because there are a lot of people, some of the people putting their kids to bed, maybe they're freaking shoveling, or the late eaters, and now they can sit down nice and, can relax. Right. But I also want to say thanks for trusting me, because you and I did not speak at all before the show.
No.
And I used to like try to get a feel for people. And now I'm like, I'm confident enough that I'm like, you know what? I want it to be completely organic. Like I said, I want to be just as surprised by what comes out of my mouth as you. So, so there is anybody that doesn't know, there's no script. There was no nothing. I didn't, and I mean, I knew a little bit about you. I researched a little bit of stuff, but like I said, I didn't, I didn't stalk you. I mean, I checked you out, but I didn't know all of the details with things, and I wasn't going to learn those details unless you told me them, because I could look them up. But what you explained to us what really was the deal. And that's what I wanted to know, because the other things are hearsay, because you're just looking at something and you're making an assumption. So I love the fact that we organically got to make this connection, with each other. So I do thank you for trusting me. And thank you for coming on the show and being as transparent as you are. I think that the world needs more people like us in it. So I appreciate having you in our us.
It was my pleasure. It was so fun to be here. And yeah, you know what? You have a fantastic show. And, anybody would be honored to be on your show.
Well, hopefully you'll wake up tomorrow and you can have coffee with us. We'll see.
Yes, I will. I will tune in at 11 o'clock.
All right. Awesome. Well, good night, Angelo. And thank you again so much for tuning in with that. Well, for coming on with me tonight.
Yeah. And thank you so much for having me. And thank you to everybody in the chat room that chilled out with us for almost 2 hours. And just thank you for letting me be me. It was so refreshing.
I wouldn't want you any other way.
Stay safe.
Thank you.
Stay
Bye,
blessed.
Lovey.
Bye-bye.
All righty. Let's see. All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm sorry I didn't look at all of the comments. It's not because I didn't love you. It was just because I was concentrating. But I want to show you one thing. Check it out. Look what I did. All right, let me see. Come on, it's time for me to show you guys my boobs. What do you think? Who wants one? How cute is this? Woohoo! Yeah, see, I keep showing you guys my boobs, but wait, hold on. Let me get in there. All right, there we go. What do you think? You guys like it? My new creation? What do you think? I know, I'm crazy. I'm like a little fucking kid. What could I tell you? Listen, you got to be excited about something in life. Because you'll take a pair of those, you sick fuck. All right, listen, if you do, well, I got stuff. I got masks that I made too. So I got some stuff coming out. So you let me know if you're interested, and I will let you guys know. Reach out to Carmela or Lisa if you need to as well. Thank you to Carmela and Lisa for holding it down for me tonight. And keeping you guys. And again, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for all of your comments. I do apologize if I didn't read your comments. It was not because I didn't want to. It's just because I couldn't fucking do it. No, because it's just, I can't while I'm talking to people. So, and not for nothing, I got to tell you guys, I still have a headache. Remember I told you this morning I had a headache? And you know what? I think I realized what it is. When I was doing my exercise thing, I was working my back. So as if I wasn't tight enough, because life is like, so now my back, that's what it is. So that's the problem. So I need a massage. So could somebody send over somebody to give me a massage, please? Oh, Reginald, can I have a back rub, please? All right, I'm a sick person. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. for Coffee Talk with Karen, live on MiamiMikeRadio.com and live on all my social media platforms. If you haven't done so already, please go on the Karen Stacy public page, hit the like button, hit the follow button, because that is where the shows will be on. Go to my YouTube channel, Real Talk Karen Stacy. Go to Twitch, Real Talk Karen Stacy. Just start subscribing, hit the button and follow me. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you permission to follow me. All right. I hope you guys have a great night. Again, I so appreciated Angelo. What a dynamite guy. These are the type of people that I want in my world. So thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Same bat channel, same bat station. Bye, guys.